Do you want to know something that nobody has ever told you? The hardest people to control are the ones who don't need you. Yes, you heard that right. The ones who are emotionally detached are the hardest to control. And that's terrifying, isn't it? To think that there are people out there who no longer bend to the whims of society, no longer fall into the trap of seeking constant validation, no longer mold themselves to fit into a box built by someone else's expectations. But here's the catch. You might be one of those people, and you don't even know it yet. Let's explore this deeper. You see, in a world where manipulation is the currency, emotional detachment is seen as the greatest threat. People who are emotionally detached no longer rely on the world around them to define how they feel, what they think, or what they believe. These individuals can exist fully, independently, without needing others' approval. They are not swayed by compliments, not disheartened by criticism, not motivated by external forces. They've built a protective shield, one that allows them to observe the chaos of life without letting it affect their inner world. But let's be honest, emotional detachment is a difficult thing to understand. The idea of stepping back from the emotional whirlwind of life, of not being swept up in the tidal wave of what others think, can feel unnatural to many. And yet, emotional detachment is not about being indifferent or cold. It's not about abandoning relationships or disconnecting from life. In fact, emotionally detached individuals often feel emotions more deeply than others, but they are not enslaved by them. They've simply learned how to protect their emotional state from the turbulence that surrounds them. How many times have you felt manipulated, not because someone forced you to do something, but because their emotions tugged at you in ways you didn't want them to? How many times have you found yourself making decisions based on what someone else wanted or on what you thought they would approve of? Every time that happens, you lose a piece of yourself. Every time you give in to someone else's demands or needs, you chip away at your own sense of self. And the more you do it, the harder it becomes to differentiate your own desires from the expectations placed on you by others. You see, emotionally detached people have learned something that you might not want to admit, that the key to freedom lies in not needing anyone's approval. They understand that their emotions are their own. They do not rely on external validation to feel worthy or complete. The world can throw its judgments, criticisms, and expectations at them, but they are unaffected because their self-worth is not based on external sources. They know that their value is intrinsic, and no one has the power to take that away from them. This is the truth nobody tells you. Emotional detachment is a powerful form of self-protection. It's the shield that keeps you from being dragged into everyone else's drama. The more you attach your emotions to the opinions and actions of others, the more you lose yourself in the process. And what happens when you lose yourself? You become vulnerable. You become susceptible to manipulation, to the whims of those who want to control you. But emotionally detached people, they know how to protect themselves. They have learned that the key to freedom is not to allow anyone else to dictate their emotional state. It's terrifying, isn't it, to think that there are people out there who are immune to the emotional strings others try to pull. But why is emotional detachment so difficult for others to handle? The answer is simple. Emotionally independent people don't need others to be happy. They don't need others to define their worth, and that is where the power lies. When you stop relying on others for your sense of self, when you stop seeking approval, you take away the one thing that can be used against you, your need for validation. You become a force to be reckoned with. Let's face it, we live in a world that thrives on manipulation. Every advertisement, every relationship, every social interaction is a negotiation, a battle for control. And what's the best way to control someone? To make them dependent on you. If you can make someone believe that their happiness depends on your approval, you can control them. If you can make them think that their worth is tied to what you think of them, you can dictate how they feel. But emotionally detached people have learned the most powerful lesson. Their worth is not dependent on others. They don't need anyone else to validate their existence. Think about this. How often do you find yourself adjusting your behavior to fit the expectations of others? How many decisions have you made simply because you wanted to avoid criticism or judgment? When was the last time you said yes to something you didn't want to do just to please someone else? All of these actions are signs of emotional dependence. The more you bend to others' expectations, the less power you have over your own life. The more you give in to the pressure to please, the less of yourself remains. But emotionally detached people don't fall into this trap. They have learned the art of detachment, not from a place of indifference, but from a place of strength. They know that true strength lies in the ability to separate their emotions from the chaos of the world around them. They know that when they allow their emotions to be influenced by others, they lose their power. They become puppets, reacting to every pull of the strings. But when they detach, when they choose not to react, they reclaim their power. Now let's dive deeper into the paradox that emotional detachment presents. The more you try to control, the less control you actually have. The more you seek approval, the less authentic you become. The more you try to fit in, the more you lose yourself. The world is unpredictable, and you cannot control it. You cannot control other people's thoughts, feelings, or actions. The more you try to, the more frustrated you become. And yet, despite all this, you still cling to the illusion that control is the answer. But what if I told you that the only true control you will ever have is over yourself? And what if I told you that the more you let go of your need for control, the more peace you will find? You see, the greatest paradox is that the more you let go of the need to control everything around you, the more control you will have over your own life. The less you rely on others' opinions to define your worth, the more power you will have. And the more you let go of the idea that everything must be perfect, the more freedom you will experience. Think about it. What would happen if you stopped worrying about what others think? What if you stopped seeking validation from the people around you? What if you started making decisions based on what you truly want, rather than what you think others expect of you? Imagine the freedom you would feel. Imagine how much lighter your life would be. And imagine how powerful you would become, knowing that your emotions are yours and yours alone, and that nothing and no one can control them unless you allow it. But there's a deeper truth here, a darker reality that you may not want to face. The reason you are afraid to let go of control is because, deep down, you don't know who you are without it. You've built your identity around the need for approval, around the desire to be accepted by others. You've attached your sense of self to the image you present to the world. And letting go of that image, letting go of the control you've so carefully crafted, means confronting the terrifying possibility that without it, you might be nothing. You might not know who you truly are. But here is the liberating truth. You are not what you've shown the world. You are not the mask you've worn to fit in. You are not the identity you've built to please others. And by letting go of that false identity, by detaching yourself from the need to please and the need for control, you will finally discover who you truly are. You will find that the person you've been searching for has always been there, waiting for you to let go of the chains that have kept you bound. True freedom is not found in controlling the world around you. It is found in controlling yourself, in detaching from the need for approval, and in embracing the truth of who you really are. And when you do this, you will become untouchable. You will no longer be manipulated by others, no longer be swayed by the opinions and judgments of the world. You will be free. So here's the question. Are you ready to let go? Are you ready to stop living for others, to stop seeking validation, and to start living for yourself? Are you ready to reclaim your power and become emotionally detached from the forces that try to control you? Because the moment you let go, that is when you will find true control. Not over the world, not over others, but over yourself. The choice is yours. Will you continue to live in the illusion of control, or will you step into the true power of emotional detachment and reclaim your freedom? The journey begins now. The decision is in your hands. Thank you for listening, and don't forget subscribing.